Happy Tuesday morning. Welcome to Break the Board Sports. It's your boy RJ Cash. Run down through the MLB slate for today, giving you all the better trends and angles to help you become a better handicapper. Click that like, hit subscribe for us. We're here every day, 2 to 3 shorts. Let's hop right into it. Now we're coming down the race here for the MLB standings. Last week of baseball here, so most teams have 5, 6, or 7 games left, depending on the team. Right now in the American League, the Toronto Blue Jays hold a 2-game lead over the New York Yankees, 5-game lead over the Boston Red Sox. In the AL Central, and they match up today. Can't wait to hop into this one. The Detroit Tigers and the Cleveland Guardians. Remember the Detroit Tigers at the All-Star break? They looked like the best team in baseball. They were running away from everybody. Now the Cleveland Guardians have closed and are 1 game out. They match up in a 3-game set. Promises to be a great one. Seattle Mariners now have taken full control of the AL West. It's going to be really hard for the Astros to get in and win this one. Astros set 3 games back. Rangers, they're all but done, 8 games back. Phillies have clinched the East. Brewers have clinched the Central. Cubs have clinched a playoff berth in the Central. And you both have Dodgers and Padres that have both clinched a playoff spot, but the West is still up for debate as the Padres set 2.5 out. So let's look at the wild card standings before we start breaking these games down. In the American League, the New York Yankees got a 4-game lead. They're all but in. Boston, a 1-game lead. And that 1-game lead is up on the Guardians and Astros, tied for the last spot. The Guardians do have the tiebreaker in that, though. Rangers, they're limping behind, 5 back, but they've lost 7 in a row. The Rangers just falling apart, which is really a shame between Seager and Simeon being out. That really sealed their fate there with their 2 best players. In the NL wildcard, Cubs, Padres are in, but there's one heck of a race. The Cincinnati Reds now have the tiebreaker over the Mets. Reds and Mets tied. 1 game back is the D-backs. 3.5 back is the Cardinals and Giants, as the Cardinals took down the Giants yesterday. Don't look now, but here come the Cardinals. So let's hop right into it. Again, we use Lines, FanDuel, and DraftKings. Let's hop into today's games. First game on the slate, we have the Tampa Bay Rays at the Baltimore Orioles today. And for Tampa, they'll be laying $1.18 on the road. Even money on the comeback for the Orioles. Your over-under sets 8.5, -120 there on that one. When you look into this matchup as far as the pitchers go, Orioles and Rays have split the last 10. Ryan Papat gets the call for the Rays, 3-2 with a 3.22 ERA over his last 5 starts. He has faced the Orioles 3 times this year, all over the summer in June and July. Gave up 5 runs, 4 runs, and 1 run, but had 2 outings there where he had 8 strikeouts and 11 strikeouts, did Papat. And I would look at that and say, if we update his strikeout total here, to see what it is today. Let's see. You can get 5+ strikeouts minus $1.18. Maybe a way to look towards. Dean Krimmer gets the call for the Orioles. He's 3-2 with a 5.70 ERA. Again, he's made 3 starts against the Rays himself. 2 of the starts, he only allowed 1 run. The other one, no runs. For me, I would definitely, just based off that, be looking at the home dog with Krimmer there. Tampa Bay, 1-4 their last 5 road games, 5-11 straight up their last 16 overall. But Baltimore hasn't fared well against AL East foes. They're just 1-10 straight up their last 11 games versus the American League East. So less than to be desired there for sure. I'm going to go ahead and put an official play. I know it's the first game we broke down today, but I'm going to go ahead and put official play on the Baltimore Orioles. It's actually jumped now, +105. The game of the day, the Detroit Tigers, and really it's going to be the game of the day for the next 3 games, next 3 days, because this series is going to determine who wins the AL Central. You got the Detroit Tigers at the Cleveland Guardians. Tigers laying $1.58, comeback $1.34 with the Guardians. Your over-under set 6.5. Now it's juice -110 both ways. Just last week, the Guardians swept the Detroit Tigers, giving them a 6-4 advantage this year. Now, If the Tigers can't win with their guy, that's right, he's on the hill. Southpaw Tarek Skubal, 2-3 with a 1.80 ERA. He's faced Cleveland 3 times this year. Has win at least 6 innings in all of them. Allowed 1 run in his last start back on September 18th last week. 6 innings, 7 hits, 1 run, despite them losing that game 3-1 to Cleveland. Got to be awful when you only when you only give up 1 run and your team still loses. He had 9 strikeouts in that, though, but the 2 previous, May and July, he didn't allow a run, going 7 innings, 1 start, 9 innings the other. So Tarek Skubal in 3 starts against the Guardians, 1 run, 0 runs, 0 runs. Here's what's more impressive than that even is the strikeout total for Skubal. Right now it sets over under 7.5 minus 132, and I think you got to take a shot at the over because those 3 starts against the Guardians, 9 strikeouts, 10 strikeouts, and 13 strikeouts. He has been absolutely electric against Cleveland. Now, Cleveland's pitching has got them back into this thing. Gavin Williams has been rock solid, 4-1 with a 1.22 ERA. He's faced the Tigers twice this year. Both of his starts, he hasn't given up a run either and has 8 strikeouts and 9 strikeouts in both of those. You can take his over-under 5.5 strikeouts minus $1.38 at FanDuel. Maybe something there for you to look in. The over has cashed 9 of the last 13 games the Tigers have played in. They've lost 6 straight, though. Tigers come into this limping. More importantly, they're 4-8 straight up the last 12 versus Cleveland. The total, remember we talked about the over, it's gone over 5 of the last 6 games on the road for the Tigers. So that's 2 things pushing you to the over. I know that's hard to swallow when you have an over-under with these 2 teams set at 6.5 at FanDuel. The total has gone under, though, for Cleveland, 11 of the last 13 games. Remember, pitching has really got them, has really pulled them back into this race. The under is cashed in 6 straight games for Cleveland at home. Cleveland, 10-1 straight up their last 11. Again, they've just been rock solid. I'm going to look to both pitchers' strikeout totals, but I got to take the Tigers. Listen, I feel like the Tigers, if they lose with Skubal and pull into a tie, if you can't win with your best pitcher, it's going to be tough sledding for them to get the win today. I think the Tigers, even though that's a heavy price, but it's still cheaper than you normally get Skubal, I'll take the Tigers. So we got the Orioles, the Tigers, and then I would lean towards some pitching props. Alt over for Dean Krimmer, strikeout total over for Skubal, and the over for Gavin Williams. Pittsburgh Pirates visit the Cincinnati Reds, and the Reds couldn't get a better opponent to try to hold on to that last spot. Right now, the Reds laying $1.58 plus 134 on the comeback for the Pirates. Your over-under sets 8.5. It is juiced minus 110 both ways. Pitching matchup today, Reds have taken 6 of the last 10. Johan Oviedo for the Pirates gets the call. He's 1-4, but has a 3.28 ERA. Just the Pirates can't score any runs, and we know how horrible they are. Brady Singer, though, has been lights out, 4-1 with a 2.43. He's had 3 starts versus Pittsburgh this year, giving up 4 runs, 2 runs, 3 runs, and has not struck out more than 3 batters in any start against the Pirates. When you look, his over-under is 5.5. I would look under for Brady Singer. He hasn't proved that he could get over that total, so definitely would be an under there play. The Pittsburgh, 3-12 straight up their last 15, despite being 4-2 straight up their last 6 versus the Reds. Reds have won 5 in a row. The under between these 2 teams has cashed 7 of the last 9. Again, I don't like laying high numbers with the Reds, but the Reds are a play, and Brady Singer under the strikeout total. Going to go ahead and give that a roar. Philadelphia Phillies and the Miami Marlins. Now, the Phillies still have a shot to get the number 1 seed here in the American League, or in the National League, rather. They're laying 220, comeback plus 184. Your over-under is set at 8, juice minus 110 both ways. For the Phillies, they've taken 7 of the last 10 versus the Marlins. Marlins will send Edward Cabrera 3-2 with a 4.71 ERA. He's had 1 start against the Phillies back in June, went 6 1/3, giving up 2 hits, 1 run, 5 strikeouts. So not a bad start for him. Christopher Sanchez, though, was in that Cy Young talk for a while, but has fallen off. He's still pitching really, really well. 4-1 with a 3.62 ERA, 2 starts this year against the Marlins, going 7 innings and 8 innings. Both of those starts only giving up 1 run. Phillies are somebody you definitely got to find a dance partner with that high line. I mean, 220, you can't go laying that. Miami has won 5 straight on the road. Philly 12-5 over their last 17, and the over has cashed 9 of the last 13 games Miami has played in, and 6 straight for the Phillies when they're playing at home. Chicago White Sox and the New York Yankees. Again, Yankees 2 back of the Blue Jays, and they get the White Sox. The Yankees should get a sweep here, but they're the Yankees. Who knows? Luis Gil gets the call for the Yankees, minus 225. Comeback plus 188 on the road for the White Sox. Your over-under sets at 9. It's juiced minus 122 in this one to the under. Juiced minus 122 to the under. I apologize. Yankees, 8 of the last 10 have went to them. Shane Smith gets the call for the White Sox. Now, he's been solid, 3-2 with a 3.81 ERA. He had 1 start against the Yankees back about 3 weeks ago, went 6 1/3, 3 hits, 2 runs, 7 strikeouts. So a really good outing in that one. The White Sox still ended up falling 5-3 to the Yankees. Luis Gil, since coming back mid-August, has been really, really good. 4-1 with a 2.67 ERA. Same date, him and Smith hooked up. He went 5 1/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, 7 strikeouts for Gil. Again, maybe you take Yankees 225's high. If you take Yankees and Phillies and a parlay, it gets you plus 110. I think that's extremely great value. I think you got to find something to do with the Yankees today for sure. I feel like this is just a great opportunity for them to maybe hop the Blue Jays, since the Blue Jays got the Boston Red Sox that they got to deal with. Yankees 7-3 their last 10 at home, 4-1 versus the White Sox the last 5 they've met. White Sox 1-4 their last 5 on the road, and 1-8 straight up overall. We just mentioned the Boston Red Sox and the Toronto Blue Jays, and really not a good matchup for either one of these teams, as they're both clinging to their playoff positions. Now, Blue Jays are going to get in. It's just a matter of do you win the AL East, and do you possibly get the number 1 overall seed in the AL, which is still up for grabs. Blue Jays have taken 7 of the last 10. Right now, they're laying $1.66 plus 140 on the comeback for the Red Sox. Your over-under sets 8, flat, juiced, minus 115 to the under. For the Red Sox, they'll send Lucas Giolito, 3-2 with a 2.48 ERA. Has pitched really well, other than his last start versus the A's last week. Pretty concerning 6 days ago. Gave up 4 runs in an outing to the A's. Not what you expect from him. He's had 2 starts versus Toronto, in which he's given up no runs and 3 runs this year. Kevin Gausman's been really, really good for the Blue Jays. He's been their best pitcher down the stretch here. Despite a 2-3 record, he's got a 1.75 ERA. He faced Boston back in April, went 8 innings, 4 hits, 1 run allowed, and 10 strikeouts for Gausman. The problem with the Red Sox is they just haven't been hitting the ball. Giolito, his over-under strikeout totals 5.5, plus 116 to the over. And Gausman, 5.5, minus 152 to the over. A little too steep on the juice there to be taking Gausman. Now, you could get Gausman at an alt strikeout total, 7+ strikeouts, plus $1.32 at FanDuel, but I still think 7 is just a really high number. Blue Jays laying at $1.66. Again, 2 teams that really need it. I'm going to set this one out and see how it plays out. Maybe we get a good spot. Game 2. Atlanta Braves laying $1.90 to the Washington Nationals, plus 160 for the Nats. Your over-under sets at 9, juiced minus 118 to the under. Braves have taken 8 of the last 10. Brad, oh my Lord, goes for the Washington Nationals, 2-3 with a 7.03 ERA. That ERA isn't in comparison to what he did just 6 days ago with the Braves, as he gave up 6 hits and 2 runs. Much better outing for him. Hurston Waldrop gets the call for the Braves, 3-2 with a 5.26 ERA for him. For the Nationals, they're 2-6 their last 8, but have lost 5 straight to Atlanta. Atlanta's on a 9-game win streak, despite being 3-6 their last 9 at home. So we'll see if that carries over, or if they're able to get back on the horse here in Atlanta. Total pass here. Two teams, none to play for. Just not a bettable game for me anyways today. Cubs, Mets, minus 108 both ways. Pick 'em game. You're over under 7.5. Juiced minus 110 both ways. Now, the Mets took 2 out of 3 in their series back in May. The Mets will send David Peterson, the southpaw, 1-4 with a 9 ERA, has just been getting blown up. 6 runs, 3 runs, 4 runs, 8 runs are his last 4 starts. Cade Horton, the rookie, 4-1 with a 1.32 ERA. He'll get the nod for the Cubos today. Now, when you look at this a little deeper, Mets have lost 6 straight on the road. They're 4-11 straight up their last 15. But the Cubs, they're 1-4 straight up their last 5 games as well. And the Cubs, for them, they haven't played very well here since they clinched. Since they clinched, you've seen them really fall off and almost kind of fall asleep behind the wheel, losing 4 straight games. I like the Cubs today to get back on track. This Mets team is floundering. I know the Mets need the game. I know it really doesn't mean a lot to the Cubs, but the Mets have just been a mess all year. The reason they're in the position they are is based off of that lineup and talent. I don't trust them to get it done. Not saying I trust Cincinnati either. I think whoever gets that last spot, Arizona, Mets, Cincinnati, whoever it is, they're not for long as far as playoffs go. But I will make a play on the Chicago Cubs today. Now, Texas Rangers laying at R34. Their playoff hopes on life support. Minnesota Twins plus 114. Your over-under is set at 8 in this one. Zebby Matthews will get the call for the Twinkies. Twins have taken 6 of the last 10. Zebby Matthews, 2-3 with a 7.77 ERA, has not pitched well at all. The Rangers will send southpaw Patrick Corbin to the hill, 4-1 with a 3.29 ERA. He's been really solid. Kind of turned back the clock of when he first got to Washington and leaving Arizona. Those years were his best years. Corbin, I rag on him a lot, but he's had a really good year. He faced Minnesota back on June 12th, 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs in that one. Again, it's got to be Rangers or nothing here. They're 5 back in the wild card. I think they're pretty much out of it. There's a slim mathematical chance, but it's either Rangers or nothing here. Rangers 3-8 straight up their last 11 on the road. Texas has lost 7 straight games, but they're 10-5 at home, but they haven't fared well against Minnesota. Crazy stat here. Texas is 4-13, 4 wins, 13 losses the last 17 versus Minnesota. Kind of hard to believe in that one. Let's go to the next game on the board, and probably another one of the most important ones is the LA Dodgers and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Dodgers laying at R66 on the road, plus 140 on the comeback for the D-backs. Your over-under sets at 9. It's juiced minus 122 to the under. Now, again, this has playoff implications as far as the Dodgers winning the NL West and Arizona just a game out in the wild card. So huge, huge game. They've split the last 10 meetings here. Shohei Ohtani, 1-4 with a 4.09 ERA. But we all know the problem with Ohtani. He was pitching like a no-hitter through 5 innings last week, and they pulled him. So you can't really gauge how far he can go. Brandon Pfaadt hasn't been very good at all, 1-4 with a 5.40 ERA. He's faced the Dodgers 3 times this year, giving up 4 runs, 3 runs, and no runs. Now the Dodgers 6-3 the last 9 when they're on the road at Arizona. Arizona 6-2 straight up their last 8 and 8-3 straight up their last 11 overall. But the Dodgers just 6-13 on the road. So they have a good split when they're facing the D-backs, but when they're on the road in general, just haven't played well. Again, I can't lay the price with the Dodgers on the road. I really don't know what to make of the D-backs. They just got a bunch of young kids that have really put this thing together and continued to thrive for the Arizona Diamondbacks. I'm just going to set this one out and see again. Maybe we get a good opportunity in game 2. One of the biggest rules in gambling and handicapping is you don't have to bet every game. You get to pick which games you want to bet, which that is our biggest advantage as bettors. Milwaukee Brewers visiting San Diego Padres. Again, Padres need the game, but you say Padres need the game, and last night they were able to wheel back in 11 innings and get that 5-4 win over the Brewers. Now, the Brewers, they're holding about a 3-game lead here. Let me just double check that. The Brewers were holding a 3-game lead in the National League. Now it's down to 2.5. So 2.5-game lead over the Phillies. They're right now today, they're going to be going back to San Diego. It's minus 110 both ways. Bruce Zimmerman, the southpaw, will get the call for the Brewers. 0-5 with a 9.95 ERA, but hasn't pitched since June 15th, so a little scary there. Randy Vasquez, 3-2 with a 4.70 his last 5 starts. He faced Milwaukee back in June, 4 2/3, 2 hits, no runs, 2 strikeouts. Again, the fact that you're getting the Padres at a short price, but the Brewers are trying to hold on to that division. It would be Padres or nothing. Just because I don't know what you're going to get from Zimmerman, it's really hard to gauge a guy that hasn't pitched since June. Milwaukee 2-6 their last 8 versus the Padres. Brewers 1-6 straight up the last 7 games on the road overall. The over has cashed 8 of the last 12 games the Brewers have played in. Padres 4-1 their last 5 games at home. So again, it would be Padres or nothing, but I'm going to take a pass. 3 more here on the docket. Colorado Rockies at the Seattle Mariners. No pitchers listed yet. Mariners laying 275, come back to 25. Over under sets at 8. It's minus 110 both ways. Again, no pitchers listed yet. The Rockies 3-12 straight up their last 15, 1-8 their last 9 on the road, and 1-5 straight up their last 6 versus Seattle. Seattle's been red hot, 8-0 at home, 14-1 overall over their last 15 games. Again, don't see the Rockies, worst team in baseball, giving up much resistance. You could do a Yankees-Mariners parlay, get you minus 104. I would look to hammer that again. You got 2 playoff teams still needing to wrap up seeding against the 2 worst teams, 2 of the worst teams in baseball, rather. St. Louis Cardinals, San Francisco Giants lost this game yesterday. I had the Giants with Verlander, and as soon as I hop on him, he implodes. But Giants with Logan Webb, minus $2. Adrian Palante, plus 168 on the comeback for the Cardinals. Your over-under set 7.5. Juice, minus 110 both ways. Cardinals have now taken 8 of the last 10 meetings against the Giants. However, the Cardinals have been 2-6 straight up their last 8 on the road. Giants have really floundered. They've really ruined an opportunity here, golden opportunity for the wild card, because they were right there and then hit this 2-8 straight up streak over their last 10. And that's really just buried them. The over between these 2 teams is cashed 9 of the last 12 meetings. Logan Webb, he got roughed up a little bit last week, but Palante of the Cardinals, 1-4 with a 5.88 ERA. He did face the Giants about 2 weeks ago, went 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, so had a really good outing. Logan Webb, not as good as of late as he was earlier in the year, 3-2 with a 4.03 ERA. 2 of his 3 previous outings against the Cardinals, none this year, but 2 of the 3 previous outings over the past 2 years, he has lost to the Cardinals. I can't lay $2 with Webb and the Giants, especially the domination, 8 of the last 10 for the Cardinals. It would be Cardinals at a plus price or nothing for me, but just going to set this one out. Houston Astros, I had said when they lost Alvarez, they would fall off. They got swept up by the Mariners there. This is minus 108 both ways. Pretty crazy to see a stat like that. Over under 10.5. Now, Christian Javier gets the call for the Astros, 3-2 with a 4.81 ERA. Southpaw Jeffrey Springs of the A's gets the call, 2-3 with a 3.81. He faced the Astros back in July, going 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. That's a game the A's won 15-3, just all over the Houston Astros in that one. The Astros and A's head-to-head, the A's have taken 5 straight against the Astros. That over, a lot of overs in Sacramento. That's why you have that high total of 10.5. Houston, though, in all their games, the overs cashed 5 of the last 7. A's have been on a little bit of a heater, 7-3 straight up their last 10, 4-1 straight up their last 5 at home. And again, the over between these 2 teams is cashed 4 of the last 6 when they've played in Sacramento. Again, for me, I would be looking to the Astros or nothing. I know the A's have kind of had the Astros number, but listen, if the Astros don't take 2 out of 3 versus the A's. I mean, you got to figure, let's just say the Mariners probably going to sweep the Rockies, right? At worst, they win 2 out of 3. The Astros are 3 games back. They might miss the playoffs altogether. I'll take the season team trying to figure out how to get a win. I'll take the Astros. So official plays we're going to have, again, click that like button, give us subscribe. BreakTheBoardSports.com. We'll start getting all the NFL betting notes loaded in tomorrow and Thursday. Also, if you want our plays, they're $1.37 a day for the calendar year. Going in baseball, though, we're going to do a Mariners-Yankees money line parlay -104 for a double unit. We're going to take the Astros -108. We're going to go ahead and take the Cubs -108. We're also going to take the Cincinnati Reds -158. We're going to take the Reds pitcher Brady Singer under his strikeout total. Going to take the Baltimore Orioles, the Detroit Tigers, and then going to look for Tarek Skubal for his 7+ strikeouts. 8 plays on the day. Again, click that like, hit subscribe, follow us. We'll have another short coming on later today, breaking down some college football. I'm your host, RJ Cash. God bless and happy handicapping.